welcome back to the third segment. We were talking about a week ago, I think, how to save energy, how to harvest solar, and all that. And a lot of people buy these gadgets still. I've seen it like if you go somewhere, plug this your refrigerator into, and you'll save energy. Does it actually work?
That's the problem.
So these things are, there are two types of equipment, right? One built saying you plug it somewhere, it'll save energy for you. Nah, it won't in 99.9% of the time, because these actually, there is a certain, I mean, if you take technically, if you think about it technically, if you have a lot of tube lights running, if you have a lot of motors running, there's something called power factor correction. So sometimes those inductors will give something back to the electricity that will kind of derail the way you measure how much the actual power usage is. So these are specially applied to industrial systems. If you are not factories, if you are not done, I mean, like if you have like hundreds of tube lights, if you have really poor computers, for example, if your computer power supply is really poor, I mean like it's not properly done to the standard. So there's a way where you put capacitors and make the power factor correction done. So a lot of people take this idea and make little devices with capacitors in them where you plug it to your wall and thinking that it would save something. No, it wouldn't save something. But if you do have tube lights, if you haven't done it properly, because if it's a tube light, there's always capacitors you can put a proper ballaster in that can actually do the power factor correction. If you buy a good computer, it already comes with the power supply with power factor correction. And if you actually has a problem with this power factor, these little devices won't save you anyway. So you need to get it done by a proper person. And there are other devices that say that it saves electricity, is this refrigerator stuff that I've seen especially in supermarkets where you plug it in and then plug the refrigerator. I took one home because I just want to see how it works. I mean, obviously they are claiming it works, and a lot of people say
this comes with a power guard as well, right?
Yeah, it comes with a power guard. I mean, a power guard to a certain extent doable, right? It can stop fluctuation. It can stop your compressor starting multiple times if there's fluctuation on the power voltage. That's fine. That's doable. But what these things actually do is still surprisingly it switch off the power to a certain amount of time.
So the fridge is not powered.
Basically it kills the fridge. That's not a smart way of saving electricity, because then
fridge is doing it by itself, right?
I mean, again, if you set it up properly, right? So if you are thinking about saving energy, and if you are really having a really old refrigerator, I would recommend replacing that. And this inverter technology actually works. Like a lot of people, I mean, like when you're buying a refrigerator, if you see a non-inverter and an inverter, and the price difference would be around 30 to 40,000 rupees in most cases, especially in air conditioners. People would, I mean, there's a tendency you buy the cheapest, where like you think that you acquire it for cheaper, but what happens in the long run, you pay that electricity bill month by month by month by month. Unless you have solar, inverter will definitely help you to save definitely around 50%.
Yeah, even for me, I experienced this. So I had this very old refrigerator. Yeah. After I upgraded it to a inverter one, so the light bill is significantly lower.
Yeah, so basically those are intelligent because it checks the temperature on multiple location. The compressor works only when it needed. It slows down. It understands a lot of things. Again, on refrigerator, a lot of people do this. They put it to the max. You don't need to put it to the max. There is a, if you have the manual, it will say if your outside temperature is so and so, you need to set it at this level. Set it at that level, and if like month by month check. So if, for example, during this rainy season, you don't need to put it as high as you used to. Yeah. You can reduce it. The newer refrigerators already have an option called Optima. So set it up at Optima. If your fridge doesn't have the defrosting capabilities, I mean, make sure that you defrost it on a regular basis. That helps. And again, with air conditioners, how you can do is, if you are lucky enough to have an inverter, even increasing it by 1 degree. For example, a lot of people put the air conditioner at 18 or 16 or whatever the minimum amount, the temperature. So that makes the air conditioner run full time. So why do we need an air conditioner at home or an office space to make it a comfortable environment to be in? So set it up as a room temperature. What do you recommend? I mean, what I would recommend someone is to set it up at 26 Celsius or something like that. I mean, that's what you do at office, right? That's what I do at home. At that temperature is actually then let's say your outside temperature is 30. The air conditioner only need to work to a certain extent to bring it down by 4 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's how we set it for an. If you set it up at 18, it has to work all the time to get that going, right? Then what happens is it keep on running, it use a lot of energy. So if you set it up at a certain level like that, it will help you to save energy, even if you don't have an inverter air conditioner. And make sure you clean your filters. When you open up the air conditioner, it's really easy. Do it once a week, make sure that you clean it. And the fans, you set it up at auto. That helps.
Yeah.
So these are little things. Just like you're putting, incandescent bulb, you're changing it to a CFL, you're changing it to LED bulb. Similarly, these things can save, because especially fridges and ACs are one of the highest power usages, even though we don't realize it.
Yeah.
Because you always keep it plugged in, right, the refrigerator. So those are little tips where you can, help to save your electricity bill, because it's going up. Hopefully it won't get affected by that. So that's it for today. See you next week with a special guest as well. Thank you for joining us.